Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and in this video I've got two replays for you in the tier 8 German premium tank destroyer, the KANJPZ. So this tank is up for the free reward at level 100 on the new season pass. And just before we get into the video, you can see I've got camo net, gun rammer, and I had advanced gun lane drive in this video, but I would recommend setting up optics for this tank. The perks have got ball leader, rapid reload, sixth sense, situational awareness, steady aim, camouflage expertise, muffled shot, silent driving, and green thumb. So yeah, just to reflect on the equipment. So yeah, I was running advanced gun lane drive on this tank for these replays. However, actually looking up the stats when I was sort of just compiling this video, I didn't realise that the aim time was actually only like 1.8 seconds. So then the view range is 360 meters. So I would actually think you would be better off just going with the optics to improve that view range. I'll explain a little bit more sort of to the reasons why. But so yeah, just sort of running through the good points of the tank and what what you get with this tank essentially when you get to that level 100 on the season pass. And like I say, this is free. You don't have to buy the 2,000 or 6,000 gold season pass to get this tank. You will get it automatically at level 100. So which is a real bonus, to be fair, if you're sort of a bit, I don't know, if money's tight or what have you, or you just don't really want to spend the gold on season passes, whatever your choice. This is actually a nice reward tank to earn for free, because in all fairness, I'm not gonna lie, this is a very, very good tank destroyer. And reasons being is the mobility. For a start, you've got 70 km/h top speed with 20 km/h reverse. You've got excellent concealment, which is about 342 meters when you're moving, but still it's down to about 281, so that's really good when you're still. Even better when you've run sort of the full camo perk setup, which I have on this tank. You've got great DPM on the 90mm gun, which is an output of 240 alpha with 5.2 second reload. Mentioned a 1.8 second aim time. You've got 0.3 accuracy, which is really good. 8 degrees of gun depression, which equally is nice to have, and you've got 0.53 on turret rotation. You've got a roughly about 19 horsepower per ton on the power weight ratio, so again gets these top speeds quite fairly quickly, which is pretty good. You've got good traverse speeds, and you've got really good shell velocity as well. You've got 1478 meters per second on your APCR rounds with 1145 on the heat. So the heat rounds have got really good shell velocity. Actually, heat rounds are usually slow, really slow. 102mm of penetration on your HE rounds with 275 on your heat, and roughly about 245 on your APCR, dropping to about 208 when you get past 500 meters. Obviously the heat, you don't get the drop off over distance, so that's good. So yeah, this tank has a hell of a lot going for it. In terms of power points, 360 meter view range, no armor, and it's turretless. The only other thing I would consider to be a bit of a bad point with this tank is if you are bottom tier, that 240 alpha can feel a little bit inadequate, but the DPM is really good. I mean, obviously if you're sort of coming up against your super heavies and stuff like that at tier 10, could be a struggle, but again, using the good mobility and the concealment values of this tank is all about getting around those flanks into those weird and wonderful positions where you can catch the enemy off guard, you can get their rears, all sort of good things like that, all the sort of strategy that you would use to play a TD effectively. So yeah, and that is pretty much a summary of sort of the stats and everything on this tank. Now, sort of looking at the gameplay, we are on Arctic region for the first map, yeah, I think we're top tier if I remember rightly in this game, but yeah, we've got all our hit points, and we're just basically catching people off guard. We spent the first part of the game basically farming anybody on that corner of J9, H9, sort of when we were sitting in K5 area. usual spot I love to play when I'm in tank destroyers, particularly stealthy tank destroyers like this. We've obviously pulled back because that flank was getting a bit vulnerable, so we didn't really want to stay there and get overrun, which would have been a possibility if we'd just sort of stayed and not sort of pulled back with the team. Now at this moment in time, the scores are level at 6-all, but we're just sort of trying to basically eye up our next couple of moves. And we see this ISU, that is ISU, no, Strix 1, sorry. This Starks STRV S1 that was sitting at the back in the corner. We had easy shots. He was giving us his side. There was no way we were going to miss that, and luckily we've sort of brought the teams back to even scores and taken out equally a dangerous tank destroyer as well, because the Strix has also got fantastic concealment. So it was good to get that tank out of the game. We've got 3 tank destroyers and a heavy tank and artillery left to try and fight against. So, and I think they've got an enemy SVAC as well. So that's probably, at this moment in time, that is the tank that I'm considering the most dangerous. Now I know where the Tiger P is. Tiger P was over sort of on the J9 sort of area, coming up to the K5, yeah, that sort of cross. So I have loaded the heat rounds just because it's a Tiger P. It's got a little bit. The armours are quite trolly at the front. I'm probably sure a pen was standard, but I didn't want to take the chance, so I just thought, Joe, I'm just going to go for the 275 heat pen, and if I do come across it, I'll be able to penetrate through it. And obviously the TDs that are left is the SVAC and the ball sig, so heat rounds are going to go through those no problem. But I've sort of in an iron. I don't want to go crazy in the sense of trying to spot, trying to find the SVAC, because the SVAC for me is probably my most feared tank at this point. Don't get me wrong, the Borsig is as well. Borsig will probably outspot us. I think the SVAC, it may be 50-50 in terms of if we outspot him or if we don't. Depends on a lot of things. Obviously it depends on his crew, if he's running optics, camo net, etc, all that sort of stuff. So, but I want to find the Tiger first, because I know the Tiger I can easily outspot. It's another gun out of the game, and there's something else that I don't have to worry about. And I'm just sort of thinking, well, maybe if I go down this side, you can see there's a TD in the corner near our heavy tank in C1. He's being covered by artillery in G1, not artillery, sorry. Well, he's probably being covered by artillery, but also he's got a tank destroyer in G1 as well. So, I mean, maybe I could have sort of just stayed where I was, but I thought I want to make this game, I sort of want to know where the rest of the tanks are, and also I'd like to take out the Tiger P. Now, I swapped for standard for some weird reason, I don't know why, but I've managed to find the Tiger P, so I'm just going to back up here. And I think initially I wasn't going to shoot him, because there we go, for that reason I knew artillery could just keep firing away. The SVAC has now taken out our friendly T-34, which I'm assuming is the tank destroyer that was on C3. Still don't know where the Borsig is, so I can only hazard a guess that he's possibly sitting in A5. I'm not sure that's sort of one of the usual spots that you would find a tank destroyer. But my focus at the moment is let's just try and get rid of this Tiger P. Now I do shoot there through bushes, I get lit and I get targeted. Fire at the, we was talking about trolley armour on the Tiger P. There's the trolley armour. That's precisely why we had the heat rounds loaded, but obviously we still bounce. Fair enough, but we do manage to finish them off, and we don't take a shot of damage either, so that's really handy. That's lucky. But then RNG comes in for artillery and gives us a good case of bad luck and sets us on fire, obviously. I did say this tank had 12% fire chance, right? Yeah, exactly, go figure. But that's artillery for you. It's just so sure that artillery is going to hit us and set us on fire. We repair our fuel tanks so that we don't get on fire again, but yeah, it's just, that's not ideal really. Artillery taking 700 hit points off us was, yeah, a bit of a raw deal, a bit of a bummer, and particularly when it's a 3v3. Sort of if I'd had all my hit points, maybe I could have made some trades, Could have been a little bit more risky with going and sort of being the spotting tank, because that's essentially what I would have liked to have done, and what I was hoping to do was be the spotting tank and try and light up these tanks. Now, going to come around this corner here to just try and peek the corner, and there we go, we get lit and we get targeted, and it's the SVAC behind us, which is really unfortunate. We sort of got caught off guard there, because I really thought that artillery was going to be around here, and potentially I just thought that the SVAC and the Borsig were still going to be where they were, or potentially moving through the middle. I didn't expect them to come around there, so yeah, bit of a bummer, but there we go. But what I'll do, guys, is I'll skip ahead to the end results, and we'll see how we got on. So there we go, we pick up the win in the end, fortunately, and you see we come second on the board there with 3 kills, 3.3k damage, 1600 assist. Picking up the first class there, but yeah, just sort of a nice starting video to sort of show, well, KANJPZ basically, and its stats and how well it does. But we'll move on to the second replay now, where we will hopefully see it in all its full glory. And we always save the best replay till last, and this is no exception. And yeah, we're going to see how we get on Erlenberg here. So we're platooned up with Mass, who is playing the artillery. And yeah, we're in tier 10 games, so we're bottom tier here, which, yeah, not great, but we've got a favourable map. Erlenberg, as we all know, is one of my favourites. Usually come up, I'm not going to be big-headed and say come up trumps all the time, because that would be a lie, but I know sort of how to play the map, basically. I know, sort of the choke points and stuff like that. So going to do the usual thing with a TD and sort of wait to see what gets lit up on the cross, hoping our light tank will sort of pop up on the ridge here. But see, the enemy tank has actually popped up in front of us, decides to pop up again. I'm not really fully advocating that move, that's probably not a good idea, but we put a shot in anyway, and we duck down. Now, unfortunately, it means we're probably going to miss a lot of stuff on the cross, but we see this T-34 that's out in the middle. That is a poorly aimed shot, wouldn't recommend that. But the T-34 is kind of floundering in the middle here, and he gave us the side of his turret, so we're going to get a shot in. Going to shoot through the destructible cover, and so we can sort of expose him. Hopefully our team can start getting some shots in. We're going to try and see if we can squeeze some shots in. He gives us the side of his turret. We're going to punch through that, no problem. Try shooting the side of his turret again, but just at an angle where it was going to ricochet there. And it's making it pretty hard work for us to try and pen, because he is sort of hiding well behind that bit of rubble. Going to opt to try and go through the cupola, but with the APCR obviously losing penetration over distance, it's not really going to be very effective. So we've opted for the heat rounds. We're looking at the Tortoise there to see if Tortoise is going to give us any shots. Doesn't appear so. Do fire at the T-34 blind. And yeah, we're just going to focus back in on him again. Artillery puts a lovely splash in. Again, aiming for the cupola, that doesn't work. Now, I'm going to swap to the HE rounds, because, HE rounds, the most effective way of killing a tank that's less than 100 hit points is using your HE rounds. Full fact. So yeah, I'm not going to waste any time. Get the HE shells on that T-34, take them out, and now we can move on to business and try and see what else we can get shots in. So obviously with this position, it's very defensive, but I don't mind that. Playing tank destroyers sort of like this kind of suits the gameplay that I want to play here with the TD, which is is that defense plan. The guys that are sort of sticking back gives me this opportunity to move up top and try and spot for our team, because although it's got 360 meters at view range, the concealment is very good. This to me, I guess you could almost say, is like a tier 8 E25, possibly not as strong, because E25 is ridiculously good in its concealment, but this isn't far off. So like I say, I haven't got the view range, but I've got the concealment, and all I need is just this Rheinmetall to get taken out. Once that light tank is taken out, then it will give me full sort of range basically. Now he does get absolutely slapped and put on a one-shot, and I would like to sort of yellow in and take him out, but I know there's going to be stuff at the back there. Now this E50 is deciding to, basically take the reins and get a shot in, which is good. Pleased he done that. Meant I didn't have to sacrifice any hit points to do it, and now I can start farming the tanks that try shooting the E50 and have lit themselves up, like that poor charioteer stuck out in no man's land. He had absolutely no chance. And the standard B that also came in here, he's got behind a house, but we've got the good concealment to sort of just get shots in and not get shot at back. He doesn't know where we are, and we've trapped him in place, and we're just going to keep him perma-trapped now. And luckily we detonate his Armour, so didn't even have to waste time on that. So we get a nice bit of luck there, picking up our third kill, up to 3.1k damage already in the process, with so much more damage to follow. We've still got all our hit points, and now I'm just going to move forwards and try and see if I can spot any tanks, and hopefully get some support from my team. Now we do move up, and I don't know if we spot the Object 430U or not. We'll find out. I don't think I did, but I backing off here because obviously I don't want to shoot. I don't want the Object 430U to spot me. Now we've got this tree in the sort of way between me and this Object 430U, so with that I know I've got the concealment to be able to fire, shoot through. Obviously with bushes and trees in the way always makes your concealment much more effective. And yeah, I'm just biding my time basically. And we see this Panzerjäger in the distance. Now that is definitely a tank I want to get some shots on. Panzerjäger is equally a strong tank destroyer and can also double up as a light tank / medium tank if needed. And more likely cause me a lot of issues at the end of the game. Should he still be alive. So I'm basically again focusing sort of on the Object 430U. I was sort of hoping to get some more shots in, but the way he's angled up and sort of side scraping off that building, he knows what he's doing, so I'm not going to be able to sort of get any shots in while he's doing that. So I've opted to sort of swap over to the other side potentially. I might even sort of think about going into the middle and see if I can get another angle on this 430U, because I'd like to take out the 430U because then it opens up the K line again, and ideally I think the overall game plan would be get rid of the 430U, move up to K1 and basically try and spot across their ridge on the 2 line. And if I can do that, then there's potential that we can take out any of the tank destroyers that are on there and try and be effective. But I think at this moment just swapped over to the other side, just because there's a lot of tanks in the middle there. So I think they're going to take care of the Object 430U, and I think they've actually taken them out. So it's a 9v6. The numbers are looking good. There's a lot of tanks sort of moving into the middle, and I've decided that it might be best if I come up to the middle to try and shoot whatever they spot, because it looks like they're making advances. Also it'd be nice if I could possibly spot up the hillside by sort of being here. Not lit anything up yet, but again I'm just going to hang around here to see if any opportunities present themselves. Now it's quite a slow burner of a game. Erlenberg is usually like that, but I don't mind because, like I say, there's plenty of room to move about from side to side. It's a patient game, but it's waiting for the enemy to make that mistake. Now I think I was opting to possibly run up the middle here, but I think I thought better of it, and I've decided again I think I'm gonna choose to go for the K line. Now there's an enemy E4, well there's an enemy E4 which is causing all sorts of problems. Panzerjäger is still alive as well, and they've both boarded. The score's down to 6-all. So as I said earlier on, that Panzerjäger is going to cause us all sorts of problems if we don't get rid of him and get rid of him quickly. So I'm opting to move up to K1. I think that is the idea. Get up to K1, see what we can spot. We've got, well, the E50M was on a one shot, took out, and we've got this TD with us. So the support isn't great, if I'm honest. There is another tank destroyer at the back, which is a Grill 15, so that's handy. Now I see the Panzerjäger, and I've just opted to basically trade like for like on this. I was sort of weaving in and out, but there we go. Lo and behold, our engine gets taken out. Now, good traverse speed here. We should be able to move around, hopefully get another shot, and we do. Luckily, our friendly Italian tank managed to take him out. I did make a bit of a meal out of that. I think, there was, it could have cost me because I just kind of went a little bit steamrolling in rather than perhaps just stopping and just making sure I aimed my shots properly. But anyway, the Panzerjäger is taken care of. Now we've got this Orpheus moving in, and I've opted to load for the heat shells. We've got the support of our friendly Grill. We've also got the one-shot Italian tank destroyer. But now we see this full health Conqueror coming in as well to help out the Orpheus. Our friendly 114 has just been taken out by their E4. Looks like the Grill is getting punished as well. It's just been lit up. It's not ideal that he's sat out there. Really should just be pulling back and letting me do the spotting for him. The Grill's got good concealment, but it's nowhere near as good as this tank, so I'm not really sure why he's there, why he's kind of making a bit of a meal out of it. And I'm asking him to fall back because it just looks like he's going to throw his tank away at this point. And it's not really the right play. But I noticed the Conqueror is now going to start moving to try and get side shots on this Grill. I think I'm far away enough to potentially get some shots in, and if he pokes up any more then I can. But then I see the friendly Orpheus to try getting a shot in, but unfortunately the Grill takes him out, and as I've shot I've been lit. So a bit frustrating because perhaps I could have just focused on that Conqueror. If I knew the Grill was shooting the Orpheus, I could have possibly got a shot into that Conqueror at least before getting lit and then running away. So packed off, we've got an SU-130 that's in the middle. I'm not sure what health that guy is on, but I've also got this Italian tank destroyer that is, pretty much a little bit of a smoulder of HE fall on that tank, then he's going to die. That's how bad his health is. So a 4v3 and knowing that there's two E4s still in the game doesn't look great, if I'm honest. But we see the Conqueror. Conqueror's been lit up by our friendly tank destroyer. So I think at this point I've decided I'm going to turn around. I'm going to try and get some shots in. Unfortunately, he's just a little bit hull down, which isn't ideal. But then he gives us a side. We bounce aside, but now he's properly exposing his tank now, which is not really the right move. If he just stayed where he was, he could have just stayed hold down, wait until he got unspotted, and then possibly move. Equally, he could have HE'd the Italian tank destroyer and taken him out, got unspotted, moved back. But he's decided that he's going to give us a side. It's only then he just properly pulls back. Artillery takes out the Italian tank destroyer, which was inevitable, leaving us in a 1v4. Which, like I say, is not ideal. And there we go, we spot a full health E4. That is exactly what I did not want to see when I'm in a 1v4. Even with full hit points, if I have full hit points, it's still not something I would like to see, because E4 is a very dangerous tank destroyer. And yeah, I'm going to struggle with that. So I'm going to opt to move around the map a little bit and basically try and see if I can just get in positions where I can maybe catch these guys off guard. You see the E4 sort of moved onto the 9 line there, thinking that I'm sort of perhaps at the base. So yeah, I'm just going to move around the map here and I want to try and see basically where the other E4 is, and I'm going to cut through the middle here. This is a risky play because I could get caught out while I'm on the move, but I'm going to do it anyway. Again, I just want to sort of try and get as much information as possible. And at this point I thought, well, maybe the Conqueror is sort of still in that, on that sort of K1 area. Maybe I could potentially catch him off guard. Alternatively, I could find artillery, and if the two E4s are over sort of near our base, then yeah, maybe I could just sort of go for artillery and get some more damage that way. I mean, I'm up to 5.1k damage, but we spot the Conqueror there moving. Now, we're not really in the right position to get shots off. There's a lot of buildings in the way. If I'm going to get into, if I'm going to try and get some shots off, I want to have a clear line of sight. I want to be able to be in a position where clear line of sight, but also I'm at a distance where I won't get spotted, and perhaps I can farm him, perhaps I can get an extra kill, I don't know. Someone's just entered the cap, which would be one of the fours. That might just be a bait tactic, I'm not sure, but either way, my focus is on this Conqueror. You can see we've only got 1 minute left. Now it's very unlikely I'm going to win this game. The enemy team have got 22% of their health pool left. Obviously, a full health E4, probably another E4 that's full health. So yeah, it's not really going to happen. But we do get a shot into the Conqueror there, and we do put a second shot in, taking him out for our 4th kill. So now we're going to move across to try and find the artillery. We know where the artillery is because we just lit him up sort of not so long ago. And we're going to try and see if we can get some HE shells before the game finishes. So moving along, just try and see if we can get some shots in, and just see if we can get some extra damage. So only got 8 seconds left. It's looking very unlikely. And there we go, spot up artillery, just waiting for him to come up. Unfortunately, he's angled, so the HE shell doesn't penetrate properly. And yeah, we lose the game. Just run out of time there, so a bit unfortunate. But not a bad game, to be fair, being bottom tier. We do come second on the leaderboard there on the VIP screen. MVP, should I say, with 4 kills, 5.4k damage, 1300 assists, picking up the ace tanker, the high caliber medal. And yeah, that is the KANJPZ, guys. So that's what you'll get at level 100 in the season pass. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you did, please do like and subscribe, because it does help the channel. And as always, I'll catch you next time.
Uh-oh.